watching Morning in the Mountains from Mountain Fun Life, and my name is Brad Lovett with my special guest in the studio, and Stephanie Milani. And Stephanie, welcome. And you are with AAA of Tennessee.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Now, we have some things happening that are good, and something that's going to mean you'll need to use some caution on the roadways. And first of all, let's talk about the good news, and that is our gas prices.
Yeah, so gas prices have been declining, and it's really kind of against the trend of what we typically see. So we typically see that gas prices will go up during the summer because of demand. And anytime you have higher demand and lower supply, those gas prices are going to trend higher. But this year what we've seen is an abundance of crude supply here in the United States, but also imports. So we have a healthy supply even as our demand is trending upward. So those lower crude oil prices are helping to keep those prices at the pump a little bit lower than we've seen over the past year or so.
That's a good thing. What are the prices looking like compared to Memorial Day?
Yeah, so prices are about 22 cents less than Memorial Day, and that was a really big travel holiday for just Tennesseans as well as Americans. And July 4th holiday looks like it will be a big travel holiday as well.
And what kind of numbers do we have here? I have the handy chart here on the AAA website, and it looked like as we were heading toward the end of June, we were around $2.37 a gallon. And is that pretty close to what we have here in East Tennessee?
It is pretty close, and you also see that Tennessee is the 7th lowest state in the nation. We typically stay in the bottom 10 states for gas prices. So the Southeast is in a really good region for cheaper gasoline prices. So we do benefit from that, just as daily drivers doing our commute. But also for any of us who are traveling this summer, especially in the Southeast, we'll get to enjoy those lower gas prices.
And just to compare, looking at Kentucky was about $2.52, and Ohio, for friends in Ohio, $2.54. And let's see, and then, California, a little bit more. It's like $3.74 out there.
Right. The closer you get to the West Coast, the higher those prices go. But even in Georgia and Florida, those prices are staying relatively low, especially when you're looking at summer prices.
What are the things that could happen this summer that could make things spike?
Yeah, so we're getting into hurricane season, so even the threat of a hurricane can sometimes cause those prices to spike. And since we are talking about the Southeast specifically, it will affect the Southeast first before those hurricane threats would affect the rest of the country. But we're also starting to see some building tensions in the Middle East, especially between the U.S. and Iran. So those tensions could cause investors to get nervous about the future supply of crude oil, and just those tensions can cause gas prices to go up based on crude oil prices going up. Sometimes investors get nervous when there are tensions in the Middle East that supply will be affected.
Now, we do have something that we all need to be watching out for, and that's the new law in July, and it has to do with our cell phones and what we do in the car with them.
Yep. So beginning July 1st, we are not allowed to hold our phone, support our phone with any part of our body. You can't lay it on your lap. You need to just get in the habit of putting your phone down and ignoring it while you're driving. If you can mount your phone and accept a call with one touch, you can accept a call over Bluetooth, or if you have a Bluetooth earpiece or speaker in your phone, you can talk on the phone that way. What you can't do is look at your phone and text, or take a phone call and hold the phone up to your ear. So this law is really going to help encourage people to keep both of their hands on the wheel. Now, this is a great step to combat distracted driving. It is not a fix-all, though. AAA's research shows that just because you're going hands-free doesn't mean that it's risk-free. So your hands can be on the wheel, Your eyes could be on the road, but our mind can still be distracted by the conversation that you're having, by your passengers in the back seat, by whatever you see outside. So we don't want people to get a false sense of security because they just don't have their phone in their hand. It is the phone call that is distracting your brain, not necessarily holding the phone.
That would even mean picking up your phone at a traffic light, am I correct?
Yes. So right now, it is, before this law went into effect, it was legal to send a text at a red light because the vehicle was not in motion.
Sure.
But this will make that illegal, which is a good thing because AAA research also shows that even after you send that text message, your brain can be distracted for up to 27 seconds after you send that text message. And 27 seconds in traffic can get you a long ways down the road.
Now, what about your GPS? I think you mentioned if it's mounted. Now, I have a little compartment that I tend to put my phone in. Is that still okay, or do we know?
You can use GPS as long as you set it up, and you set it up before you start going, and you put it there, and you just leave it alone. You can't be, physically manipulating the phone. If you need to do that, the safest thing to do is to pull over to a safe spot, readjust your GPS, take that phone call that you need to take, and then get back on the road. That way, you have finished the conversation, you've finished messing with your phone's GPS before you get back out into traffic.
All righty. We were talking just a minute ago about the old-fashioned triptychs and how much we miss those. Those were the paper maps, and they turned as you went on your trip. And even though we have the technology now, I kind of miss those.
They are great. We do still have triptychs. They just don't flip like that. They're on a sheet of paper, and it's not as much fun. But I was actually looking for one the other day and kind of Googled it, and eBay is selling old triptychs for $20 or $30 each. So they've kind of become a collector's item.
I see. Stephanie, it's been a pleasure, and we'll definitely look forward to talking with you again, and hope everybody has a safe driving season. And you're watching Morning in the Mountains.